Hi everyone and welcome back to, well, not welcome back. Welcome to the Broken Turnabout, a fan game of the Ace Attorney series. It's made by Calvin Ball, and it was by popular request that I decided to try out some cases on the Ace Attorney online website, which has probably a million of them. Well, maybe not a million, but a lot. This is the very first case on the recommended list, so I expect something good. To be honest, I don't really have any expectations. Anyway, the Broken Turnabout has loaded. Warning, understanding the Broken Turnabout is dependent upon knowledge of Case 4-4. That's Apollo Justice final case. I did play it, but it's been years since I done that, so besides like the jurist system and general insanity, I should be okay. I should be okay. It is strongly recommended that you play or watch a playthrough of 4-4 before playing this fan case. You may begin when ready. I am ready. I'm gonna have to refresh my memory a bit, however. Let's answer the phone. Are we playing as Apollo? Reach the right and... Oh, it's a... Paul, it's the intelligence. You know that. Yes? Okay, so we are playing as Apollo, right? And yeah, there's no like little sound effects every time the text scrolls. That kind of bothers me. That kind of bothers me. Yeah, we are playing as Apollo. Mm-hmm. Oh, her again. Yeah, I remember her. Loading is hard. Yeah, there's gonna be some graphical glitches here and there. So I guess that was the intro. That would make sense. I've played the Dolly Income Pack series on this website, and there was a lot of effort put into those two cases. I imagine this amount of effort is not shared between all fan cases, so there's gonna be some weaknesses displayed on other fan cases where they will be reusing tons and tons of actual content from the actual games themselves. But that's okay. That's logical after all. It's just a fan case. It's basically just fanfics that you can play in Ace Attorney form, really. Now, y'all can't probably see this, but on my right, I see all of my items, and that's really convenient. I've got the attorney's badge, the bracelet, the yellow leather recreation. Oops, sorry. Aria Doni nail polish, the red letter, original trial transcript, Christosov's confession, forged diary page, and Clavier's testimony. If you did not play Apollo Justice to the very end, you probably should not be watching this video. Spoilers, sorry. Anyway. Vera, I'm really sorry. I didn't know you were here already. I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. I think I'm learning to expect it from you. Ah, well. I suppose people expecting me to be loud isn't necessarily a bad thing. I guess I just don't want to be known as the loud attorney instead of the, I don't know, the winning attorney. Say, Vera, what are you drawing? Nothing. I don't feel very inspired today. Am I ready to still understand why I'm here for a second time? Well, that's actually a really good question, Vera. You see... Hey! Ah! But Vera... Oh, wow. She's here? Really? Okay. Whoa, what got into her? Tina, what was all that for? You made Vera faint. What? I thought you were exaggerating about her on the phone. Well, I wasn't. What made you think I was? To be honest, the thing about Athena and any character that appeared in Ace Attorney 5 is that they were originally 3D models, and clearly, in this case, Athena's model was made into 2D, so it's a lot less animated. That's kind of okay, but it's understandable. Well, excuse me for taking your wife-ish description of her defied reality. I mean, come on. Would run screaming from a bunny? She seemed fine next to you. Why are you comparing me to a rabbit? Never mind, it's not really important. Just help me get Vera on the couch and conscious again. Right. Okay, I checked my evidence, but I'm gonna check the profiles too. Yeah, I've only got Phoenix right and Trucy right, so surprisingly enough. Hopefully we'll also get Apollo and Athena and Vera soon. Vera, you feeling any better? No. Okay, I think so. I was surprised, that's all. Hey, Miss Misham. I am, really sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare you so much. Startled is a better word for it, I'd say. Don't be sorry. I'm trying to work on being less scared anyway. I'll let you know whenever anything you're doing is too much. Okay then, I'll be sure to tone it down whenever you need me to. Like right here. Oh, right. Ugh. Looks like things have calmed down a little now. My name is Apollo Justice. I'm a defense attorney. I've been one for a couple of years now. This here is Athena Sykes. She's another defense attorney and my coworker. Wow, I just remembered that Athena, her second name, Sykes, is, you know, Psych, something like that. Some word jokes I just keep forgetting. I get a laugh out of it when I remember them. We'll never forget about Phoenix Wright. Right? We both work for the legendary Phoenix Wright attorney, or yeah, Attorney Phoenix Wright at the Wright Intelligence Agency, which, contrary to what the name suggests, is more a law office than anything else. Huh. Strange sprite to use right here. It makes... it does make Athena look off-model because it's mirrored, right? Probably. Anyway, this is my client Vera, a shy artist who I in no way described as reality-definingly wife-ish. Seriously though, she is very shy, but nowhere near as bad as she was when I first met her. Yeah, I personally, I was kind of surprised to see her talk. I thought she was mute. Yeah. When I first met her... I'm not gonna voice absolutely everything. I'm gonna voice whenever I can, but sometimes I want to speak my thoughts instead, and that's gonna conflict with what the characters are saying. Now, while she's still shy and inexpressive, she talks more and tries to communicate her feelings. Apollo, Mr. Justice? Is something wrong, Vera? I'm still so confused. I don't understand why I'm here again. Yeah, I'm wondering that myself. You see, last October, Vera was on trial for the murder of her father. I was her attorney. In the trial, it was discovered that the real killer was my old mentor, Christoph Gavin. He destroyed the most important evidence, so it was impossible to prove decisively. But the trial was held under the new jury system, so Gavin was implicated, and Vera was set free. For some reason, though, Vera was arrested again on the same charges. I agreed to defend her, of course. I just wish... Is that legal, actually? Like, I'm pretty sure after you're proven innocent or the charges are laid off you, in the American system, that means you can never be charged again. Or, well, I guess since I'm Canadian, I shouldn't really be talking about this, but this does not feel very legal. But then again, this is a Phoenix Wright training game. Say, Apollo. Yeah, Athena? Isn't the boss supposed to be here too? He said he'd explain the case to us. Oh yeah, that. I got a call from Mr. Wright saying he and Trucy had some urgent business in Karain. Yeah, that's... I haven't played the 6th Phoenix Wright game yet, so maybe this game follows that? Apparently it was made in 2015, however, so... Yeah, you didn't mention what? You just said that they couldn't make it to court today. That'd be really, really great if you, Calvin Ball, if you actually knew about taking into account Phoenix Wright 6, or just straight up predicted what the plot was gonna be. I thought it was a little weird since this case is so important to him, but I didn't pry or anything. Yeah, now that I think about it, isn't in Phoenix Wright 6, Trucy still with Athena and Apollo? Yeah, so it's not exactly the same, but it's still impressive. Bummer. Something the matter? Well, there's nothing we can do about it, but I can't say I like the idea of us going in blind. Me neither, Athena. Well, I can at least tell you what I do know. Basically, attention! Court will begin in 3 minutes. Lesai, am I right? Yep, I guess things never get any easier. Vera, you think you're ready? I think so. As long as you two are defending me, I'll be okay. Alright, let's do this thing, whatever it is. There's more profiles right here. There's Atana Sykes, 19, female. Vera Misham, age 20, female. Wow, she's older, seriously? Okay, Drew Misham, he's deceased, he's Vera's father. And Christoph Gavin, the true culprit behind it all, and my old mentor. I convinced the jury of his guilt under the Juuuuust system already. Cool, so I guess he's gonna come up again, because why else would they give us this profile again? Oh, cool! Franziska! And the Canadian judge. Court is now in session for the trial of Vera Misham, eh? Is the defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I can hear you just fine from over here, young man. Calm down! Yes, Your Honor. So it's this judge? Are these not fan-made? These sprites for Atena right there? They look hilariously off-model. Like, either they're flipped or something. Yeah, they have to be fan-made. It could be worse, but I don't remember these from the 5th game at all. Before the dark age of the law, he was famously indecisive, so lawyers messed with him a lot. That's kind of mean. Yeah, no, it has to be fan-made, but I do remember the posture from Ace 25. I think it's just that it was from the other direction, so this has to be this had to be recreated from this angle because Atena Sykes' hair is not symmetrical. So yeah, I'd say it's fan-made. It seems a little early to make that judgment. He's hardly said anything yet. If the defense has finished jabbering, we have a trial to run. Yeah, sorry for jabbering myself, by the way, Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor. Dang it, Atena. Why'd you have to be right about that? Now, is the prosecution ready? Hi, Franziska. I said, is the prosecution... What? Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. Technically speaking, Franziska should look a bit older right now, but... whatever. We're using sprites. You believe that I, Prosecutor Franziska von Karma, would stand before you unprepared? No, of course not, Miss von Karma. Just please don't whip me again. Whoa! The prosecution shut this judge up in record time. Now, I'm familiar with you, Miss von Karma, but I don't believe we are acquainted, Mr. Oh, Justice. Apollo Justice. Apollo Justice, eh? I'm not sure how I feel about that name. I see. Say, Apollo. Atena, what's got you worked up? It's the prosecutor, von Karma. Simon's told me about her. Ever heard of Manfred von Karma? Of course, it was his last case that made Phoenix Wright famous. Apollo, your knowledge of law history should not be so Phoenix-centric. It's just weird. Forget about it. I wanted to talk about the prosecutor. Well, what about her? This prosecutor is Manfred von Karma's successor and protege. You know how he cheated to win? You're saying she does too? Precisamente! That whip is just the beginning of a long line of dirty tactics. And her profile was added right now. She won't stoop to evidence forgery, but she will conduct illegal searches and prepare testimonies. Yeah, Franziska is 27, and yet she still looks like she's as young as ever. Let's count our blessings with the evidence forgery. I was expecting you to be a little bit more fired up about this. Then we could be fired up together. Not to be rude, but if the defense is finished over there, there's an opening statement I'd like to hear. Oh, we're finished, Your Honor. Good. Now, Miss von Karma, your opening statement, please. This is surprisingly long, but that's okay, that's okay. The only problem right now is that I'm gonna have to split this long sort of kind of playthrough of this case into multiple videos, so we're gonna be here for a while. I came to court today and for one thing and one thing alone. Revenge. Really? Franziska? Again? Hush, I'm talking. I came here today for revenge, Mr. Apollo Justice. Though it would appear that once again I am forced to do so by proxy. Revenge by proxy? Are you talking about the... Ah! Sacre bleu! I said I'm talking. You are, however, correct in your assumption, kleines Mädchen. Sorry for my German. Kleines Mädchen? Coming back when everyone's speaking English again. It would appear, however, that Mr. Phoenix Wright has decided to flee instead of face my wrath. I should have expected nothing less from such a deceitful coward. Hey! What right do you have to insult him behind his back? I spoke too soon. I hope I answered your question satisfactorily, Mr. Justice. Any further questions? Unfortunately, yes. The defense must confess that it was never informed why this case had come to trial for a second time. Foolishly asking a foolish question for foolish reasons only a fool would foolishly try to use. Are you saying the cowardly Mr. Phoenix Wright didn't even tell you about the extent of his failure? I can't truthfully say that I follow Miss Von Karma. I'm gonna take a guess and say that it's because Phoenix Wright was pretty much the entire reason that the final case of Apollo Justice was, like, resolved. You know, he's the one who was pulling all the strings, and Apollo kind of was just there to clean up the mess at the end. But, you know, let's see what Calvin Ball thought should have happened. Well, I will enlighten you in your ignorance. I'm sure you recall that the Misham trial was very unique, yes? Yeah, it served as a test for the jury system. It was proven to be effective. Was it now? Tell me, aside from the Misham trial, how many jury trials have you participated in? Well, none, but that's because the official decision is still pending. Correction, was still pending. 3 days ago, the Congressional Committee assigned to the matter made its decision. The verdict? Rejected. What? The jury system was rejected. It was considered inadequate, inefficient, and unusable for every future Phoenix Wright attorney case. Because, yeah, it's too... No, honestly, I agree with Franziska. It wasn't all that great gameplay-wise. In the real world, it's obviously preferable, however. Mr. Phoenix Wright tried to pull, as you say in America, a fast one on the justice system and it failed. Mr. Wright was not trying to pull a fast one. He was trying to improve a crippled system. I can't say I understand why it was rejected, but Mr. Wright created something valuable with his idea. He saw the absurdity of the initial trial system and tried to inject it with some common sense. It would have restored public trust in the courts, and the jurors' verdicts would have been just and sensible. I agree with Apollo's reasoning. It's really good. Franziska does not, however. I refuse to even acknowledge such foolish drivel for the response. What? I have wasted enough time on you and your foolishness as is. Suffice to say that in light of the rejection of the jury system, the verdict reached under it has been declared null and void, and we must therefore hold a new trial in order to resolve the case. Since the original trial has been declared a mistrial, double jeopardy laws do not apply. Oh! Yeah, I should have waited till this before opening my mouth. Seeing as Mr. Phoenix Wright orchestrated much of the trial, it was difficult to know what to trust. The prosecutor? Biased. The jury? Biased. The testimonies? Biased. The verdict? Undoubtedly biased. I took over the case in order to cast out the corruption and bring the glorious truth to the light. Your Honor, the prosecution has only one more thing it would like to add to the opening statement. The infamous Mr. Phoenix Wright and his cohorts have made their attempt to disfigure justice already. I leave it to the court to prevent them from succeeding by allowing the defendant to escape justice. That is all. That was a massive opening statement right there. Thank you for that opening statement, Miss Von Karma. Mr. Justice, I'm keeping my eye on you. Yes, Your Honor, and once again, I'm made out to be the bad guy. Your Honor, there's one thing I'd like you to consider, not part of my opening statement. You can consider it a ruling of sorts. A ruling, eh? I'm pretty good at rulings if I do say so myself. Fire away! I'm getting a really bad feeling about this ruling. Thank you, Your Honor. I believe I'm correct in assuming the defense has quite a bit of evidence it would like to submit. Well, yes, I tried to come prepared. And I am also correct in presuming that much of this evidence comes from the original Misham trial. I suppose. What exactly are you getting at, Mr. Von Kamag? What's the problem, Apollo? You'll see it, and I'll object and see what I can do, but I'm not sure what I can expect to happen. So yeah, all of this evidence I have, it's from the trial? I don't remember it at all. Well, except maybe for the nail polish, I guess. It looks a little familiar. Anyway, might I add that much of that evidence was submitted to the court by Mr. Phoenix Wright, a man with a personal stake in the trial's outcome and thus an inexcusable amount of bias. I refer especially to abominations such as the Mason system and the letter that was recreated. Furthermore, any testimony born during the trial was born under an unjust, rigged, and biased system. What I am asking, Your Honor, is that you reject any of the Misham trial evidence the defense presents. I have prepared an edited list of evidence, free of the biases present in the original trial. How can the court use this edited list when you also have bias? You said you were here for revenge! You forget, Mr. Justice, that I am Von Karma. Unlike Mr. Phoenix Wright, I am perfect. And that's the tenant. There's no way your pedigree constitutes evidence of your... Yow! I think we can all agree that speaks for itself. Judge, have you come to a decision? Biased evidence, eh? I'm not sure what to think of that. This is already a bad sign. Alright, I've come to a decision. That was quick. In the interest of a fair trial, the court now rejects the defense's evidence, and will now only accept evidence provided by the prosecution. Ms. Von Karma wasn't involved in the original trial, that's true. She wasn't involved in any of the new Ace Attorney games since the third one. Well, except for the spin-offs. She's thus the only non-biased party the court can trust to discern what evidence we can use from amongst all the biased and tainted evidence of the original trial. That is my decision. What a poor choice, but... yeah, my evidence menu has all been... it's almost empty. All I've got is now is the badge and the brass bracelet. And new stuff. The WhiteHawke 9 data and a news clipping. Well, it's a lot less busy now. Thank you, Your Honor. Whoa, did she just do that? She can't just do that, can she? Well, she just did. Alright, we've got enough off track. It's time to get back to the trial at hand, eh? Ms. Von Karma, your first witness, please. Of course, Your Honor. The prosecution wishes to summon its first witness, the lead detective on this case. Oh, is it gonna be Emma? Yeah, it's Emma. She appears in the 6th game, but not the 5th one. And she appeared in the 4th one, older age, that's seen right there. Witness, state your name and occupation. It's actually kind of weird to see Franziska looking younger than Emma now. Yeah! Gotta be honest here, I forgot you still use that thing. Well, I hope my whip has jogged your memory. Don't worry, it has. The name is Emma Skye. The job? Recently appointed forensic investigator. Hey, they finally gave you the job? Congrats, you deserved it the whole time. Why, thank you for the praise, Apollo Justice. I warn you though, flattery gets you nowhere with me. Now, snackoos, then we can talk. Apollo, you know her? Yeah, she was assigned to prosecute Gavin, so we ended up working together a lot. A little rough around the edges, but a reliable investigator. You can probably count on her to give Von Karma a slightly harder time than usual. Let's hope so, at least. Since you got a new gig, I take it you're not working for Prosecutor Gavin anymore, right? You got that right. Although Von Karma is so crazy that I find myself practically missing Gavin. And you can pick whichever Gavin you'd like to connect to what I said. My meaning won't change. Ouch! That's enough of your frivolities, witness. Instead of such drivel, let's hear your testimony. Fine, fine, I was getting to it anyway. Alright, detective, or rather, investigator Skye. Let's hear your testimony, eh? Oh, finally. An actual testimony. On October 6th of last year, Drew Misham was murdered via acute atrocanine poisoning. I do not know those two words. Well, acute, I guess I do, but atrocanine? Absolutely no idea. A reporter on the scene called the police. Based on the evidence present, we arrested Vera Misham. The trial was 2 days later. Vera was hospitalized for atropine poisoning during the proceedings. The jurists declared her not guilty. Vera survived, and Gavin was indicted for a second murder. And that's it? Defendants nearly dying during their own trials, eh? I'm not sure how I feel about that. Such are the facts of the case, Your Honor. And I pity the attorney who seeks to find a contradiction in this testimony. Do you think we want to be that attorney, Apollo? Probably not. None of the testimony is really false or anything. Emma's only saying the facts as they are. The real contradictions will show up in later testimony. Okay, so for now, it's smooth sailing. Nothing bad for Vera, but nothing really good either, I guess. Heh, I guess so. Say, do you still want to conduct the cross-examination? You don't seem to think much will come off it. Oh no, I already know what's going on pretty well. Then again, it can't hurt to be safe. You never know, there might be an unexpected hole in our testimony that we can use to turn this around. Usually, when we do cross-examination in the beginning, it turns things worse for us. Your Honor, the defense would like to cross-examine the witness. Alright then. Emma Skye, please prepare for your cross-examination. Alright. I guess I can stand chatting with you for a little bit longer, Polly. Ouch! There will be no chit-chat in my courtroom, Detective Emma Skye. She's Investigator Emma Skye now, Von Karma. Say it properly. Mr. Apollo Justice, you will keep the cross-examination succinct and to the point. Succinct? I'm not sure. Am I clear, Mr. Apollo Justice? Transparently, Miss Francisca Von Karma. Ah! There's no need to waste time by slowly uttering my full name every time you address me. Your grace will be sufficient from a lowly pawn such as yourself. Ugh. I'm too young to be counting the days until retirement. Enough discourse! Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please. Yeah, this is a really long case. Goodness gracious. I guess the reason why it's so favored on the website itself is because it ties well into the canon. I guess. That's my impression right now, anyway. Anyway, on October 6th of last year, Juuuuust Misham was murdered. Well, just gonna press everything, really. Last year, you say? Why has it taken so long for this retrial to happen? That is irrelevant to the testimony at hand, Mr. Apollo Justice. Detective Skye is only here to tell us about the case itself, not why we're only holding trial now. If you must know, it's because your American Congress is full of slow, ineffectual, imperfect fools. Happy? Yes, I believe I am, Miss Von Karma. I have a question. Could you tell us a little more about the science of that poison, atroconine? Man, I'm saying that word wrong every time, am I? Sister, you had me at science. Now you've done it. I could have just read the description to you from the court record. Yeah, Juuuuust Misham's confirmed cause of death. Atroconine is a poison that is lethal at 2 micrograms. It kills 15 minutes after ingestion. Specifically 15 minutes. Alright, let's get scientific. Atroconine is a virulent poison synthesized from the cocoons of Borginian silkworms. Scientifically speaking, it's a nester formed by subjecting the cocoons to specific chemical treatments. Interestingly enough, atroconine has the exact same chemical formula as the antidote to incuritis. However, their structural formulas could be more different. Where the antidote has benzyl, self-contained halides, and an outer array of ketone groups, atroconine's oxygen groups are surrounded by cyclohexane chains adorned with exposed halides. I don't know how to say any of these words, Emma. I'm sorry. These exposed halides are what make atroconine so deadly. Certain quirks in atroconine's structure encourage the spontaneous synthesis of lethal compounds after 15 minutes of exposure to the hydrochloric acid and potassium chloride in human stomach acid. By the way, Since this is taking so long, I'm probably not gonna take any breaks, but the video will probably be split up every now and then. Like, these episodes will probably be a maximum of half hour each. And this seems to be a long case, a long turnabout. Now, I know what you're wondering. What, pray tell, are these fascinating structural quirks? Glad you asked. First of all, yeah!